In the top stories, the BWU and Water Authority reached an agreement after marathon talks. A tourism official says yesterday's strike action could have been disastrous. And West Indies are through to the World T20 semi-finals. Welcome to the Good Friday edition of Nation News for March 25th, 2016. I'm Natasha Beckles. The impasse between the Barbados Water Authority and the Barbados Workers Union has come to an end. Just after 7:30 p.m. on Thursday, BWU General Secretary Tony Moore announced that an agreement had been reached and all BWA, Barbados Port and airport workers would return to work. This followed 6 hours of negotiations at government headquarters. Air traffic controllers and several categories of workers at the Bridgetown port had downed tools for several hours in solidarity with their BWA colleagues.
We are happy that at the end of that meeting, we can report that we have reached an agreement which we are sure will satisfy our constituents. Increments will be honored as the union had requested and as was agreed with the parties previously. And we have made some concession, as we indicated too, that we understood would be necessary some time ago. As would be expected, the details of our final agreement as it relates to timing of disbursements would have to be worked out and formalized in correspondence, which we expect to receive after the Easter weekend, following discussions with the Ministry of Finance.
Labour Minister Senator Dr. Esther Bayer-Suku, who chaired the talks, said the outcome was a victory for labour negotiations.
I definitely would have to say that it is a victory for trade negotiations, but it also illustrates just what I've been saying. I think when I come out of any negotiation, I'm always urging parties to negotiate, to consult, to continue to talk. As long as we keep the dialogue going, we don't get to this point. And certainly today was evidence of that. Once we came to the table and we started to talk, then look at where we ended,
Tourism officials are breathing a sigh of relief that the air traffic controllers resumed their duties earlier than was originally planned on Thursday. Initially, the airport was expected to be closed until at least 6 p.m., but the workers went back to work from 1 p.m. Hundreds of regional passengers were left stranded at the airport, but tourism consultant Colin Jordan said the situation would have been disastrous if the major international flights were affected.
We think that good sense prevailed because between 1 and 5 in the afternoon is when most of our major carriers from outside of the Caribbean come into Barbados. And having the airport closed at that time would have been problematic. So we're happy that, because it tells me and it tells us in the industry that people are aware of the importance of tourism. They're also aware of the logistical situation, that is to say when the major flights are coming in, and making the decision to reopen the airport at that time says that we are making headway as it relates to Barbados understanding tourism, the dynamics of tourism and the importance of the industry.
Earlier this week, we told you about plans for an agricultural institute on 45 acres of land at the Hope St. Lucie. The facility is expected to include the agricultural programs of the Barbados Community College and Samuel Jackman Prescott Polytechnic. Well, CEO of the Barbados Agricultural Society, James Paul, wants the Ministry of Education to rethink its plans. He said the land is currently used by dairy farmers for foraging.
Very often, many people walk around and they see areas of open area markets, and they assume that it's just wasteland, arable land. But if we are serious, and I think that's the issue that we need to face, if we are serious about the agriculture sector in this country, we need to stop trivializing the resources and the resource base of the farming community. So we just cannot look at land and think that it's of no use because it has grass on it. Because grass for agriculture is a product that is sold and is used in the farming community.
Many Barbadians traditionally go to church on Good Friday, and this year was no different. Many congregations like Revival Faith Center in Dunscombe St. Thomas opted to have lively services even as they marked the death of Jesus Christ at Calvary. We at Nation News have been asking Barbadians what the Easter season means to them. Here's what they had to say.
Not me, not no, we don't reflect like no, that we don't anything. We have a happy day, right?
No, I can just put some food, bake a ham, probably a little pork and thing, and change the house and make it beautiful.
Well, I don't intend to do a lot, but eat some food, cook some ham, and eat some good Belgian food.
A suggestion is being made that all final year secondary school students should have the opportunity to practice some of the skills needed for the world of work and university. It comes from head of department at St. Ursula's School, Dr. Glenda Niles. She was speaking recently during the school's Dress for Success program, which saw fifth form students taking part in mock interviews.
What we're using this exercise for is to see if they understand what, interviewing for a job or university place or college overseas, if they understand what is involved, everything that is involved, not just submitting an application, but the entire process, if they understand what is involved.
In sports, West Indies have booked a spot in the semi-finals of the World T20 tournament with a nail-biting 3-wicket win over South Africa. Captain Darren Sammy elected to bowl first on a slow pitch and was able to restrict South Africa to 122 for 8. When it was West Indies' turn to bat, there were some jitters along the way, but they recovered to reach 123 for 7 with 2 balls to spare. West Indies will take on Afghanistan on Sunday. Defending champions UB Blackbirds and Pine Hill St. Barnabas will meet on April 1st in the final of the Barbados Netball Association's senior knockout competition. It will be a repeat of last year's match after both teams booked their place in contrasting fashion on Wednesday night at the gymnasium. St. Barnabas had little difficulty in beating Guardian General Pride of Villa, coming away with a 46-34 win. It was built on an 18-8 first quarter. But Blackbirds had to fight to the finish, just edging C.O. Williams Rangers 35-34 in their contest. And finally, an Ohio man has opted to wear a sign proclaiming he's a thief rather than go to jail. Greg Davenport pleaded no contest to a theft charge for stealing a 52-inch television from Walmart. A judge gave him the option of 30 days in jail or wearing a sign saying, "I am a thief, I stole from Walmart." Mr. Davenport has to wear the sign in front of the store 8 hours a day for 10 days. And that's Nation News for Friday. For more news, log on to nationnews.com as well as YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Remember to pick up your papers over the weekend or subscribe to our e-paper. And look out for the weekend buzz a little later. Happy Easter from us at Nation News.